אפשר כמה שאלות, תעשה לנו בשבס, יש לתשלים. אוי ואי ואי ואי, אוי ואי ואי, אוי ואי ואי ואי, אוי ואי ואי ואי, אוי ואי ואי, אוי ואי ואי, אוי ואי ואי. We set the topic today talking about Na'aseh and Nishma. Actually, what is so special about Na'aseh and Nishma? I think Gemara says when Klal Yisrael said Na'aseh and Nishma, the Gemara says, "Mi gil rozeh lebunai lushan shemalach ashuras mishtamshim bo." What is special about this Na'aseh and Nishma? That Malach Ashuras Mishtamshim bo. How can a person do something without knowing before what he's going to do? So how did they become able to say Na'aseh and Nishma? The interesting Gemara, the Gemara says even further that once Klal Yisrael fell by the eagle, then Kodesh Baruch Hu told him, "Kilkaltem b'Na'aseh, you messed up Na'aseh, Hizhari b'Nishma, but I want you to watch out, you shouldn't lose the Nishma." Well, we all know that Nishma is not the main thing. Main thing is a person has to do. Adam nifal kefi pi loisov. As the Ramchal explains, since a person in this world was created in a finite, and his life comes from infinite, the only way that you're going to get to be connected to your infinite is through emunah, through believing. But emunah and the finite don't go together, because every materialism, in order to believe, I have to feel like stupid and understand that I don't understand. Persi yamin l'chol. So how do you ask for me to believe when you made me so smart? As the Torah says, Kodesh Baruch Hu gave us nefesh chayil. Rashi says the behem is also nefesh chayil. But we are chayil shebekilam. With what are we chayil shebekilam? We are chayil shebekilam, that we have deyum, knowledge, and dibba, that we can talk. That means because you gave me the knowledge, and I should live that I don't understand, then it's against the nature that you created me. So how do you want it to be possible? There's no opportunity to believe, because I have to put away my das, and you gave us the das. We also find, that the Gemara says that, as I'll say, Klal Yisrael, when they were in Midbar, they had all kinds of parchments, kvilin, of the Torah that HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave us, which they were learning Torah. So asked the Ramban, how could it all be together that Klal Yisrael in Mitzrayim just did not live with the Rebbeinu Shalom, and how did they get to Memtes Sha'ar Tima B'Klal when they had the Torah? We're talking about the Shiftei Kol, we're talking about the nearest generations that can be to the Uvetz HaGdoshim. So they were, not only they were learning Torah, even the Gemara says they went out with Schis, Shlishini Shmom, Levisham, Eleshoinam. That means they were so orthodox, we call it. It's all overwhelmed. So how does it happen that you go into Memtes Sha'ar Tima? So the Ramban answers, because it was all without emunah. What is so special in the emunah? Which, because of the emunah, a person can learn Torah, he can do everything that you're supposed to do. At the end of the day, he's still in Memtes Sha'ar Tima. Why does that happen? So the whole that the Rosh said away is actually from the Baal Shem Tov. But the Baal Shem Tov says, "B'chol duchecha du'ai." I created a world. And the world that I created was actually that I put you into a finite world, into a world that is concealed. But I want you to reveal me in this world. That's called das. That means I gave you the das. From one side, you should live with, connected to the world. From the other side, but be connected through not understanding. That means you have to understand what your tachlis is in the world. But at the end of the day, you have to understand that you cannot understand. That's called le'sasa punimenai. I cannot, all I can make a Ribbono Shel Olam all over. Leis Hasar Purim Enai, wherever we are, the Ribbono Shel Olam is here, the Ribbono Shel Olam is there, the Ribbono Shel Olam. We have to come to an understanding that there is a certain understanding which the Ribbono Shel Olam is that we should live with him and believe that Tov Hashem, whatever he does, is the best I can do. It's just like a small child that lives in the mother's hand and is the happiest that can be. While it's so happy, it doesn't know what mother means, cannot help itself. But he's knowing he's being taken care of, which that is the biggest simcha that a person can have when he knows he's being taken care of by the Ribbono Shel Olam. So we explained that the more the child doesn't understand, doesn't know what he wants, the more it's happy it is. So whatever the mother does is fine for the child. But once the child starts understanding, once the child starts wanting all kinds of things, actually he loses out because he's not happy with what he has. When a person has his gumel ala imay, just like a small baby that's just waiting for the mother, whatever the mother does, it feels itself secure. Even the mother will take it to a doctor and get a needle and will cry, but he feels secure, he's not suffering from it, even though it hurts. That means the Tachlis HaKadosh from one side wants Evos Das. From the other side, in the creation of the world, He put us into a place that He wants us to believe. These two things don't go together. Says the Ramchal, the only way we can get there is two ways. One way is called the Serisa de la Sata, and one way is called the Serisa de la Aila. There are times that HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives us, and the lightning gives us a lot. He gives us a push from up and downwards that wakes us up, a wake-up call. There's some which is Shabbos, Yom Tov, without you doing anything. Shabbos comes in, and Shabbos does something to people. Yom Kippur, Rosh Hashanah, Yom Tov, etc. All kinds of zmanim that HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave. There are places like Eretz Yisrael, which Beis Hamikdash, Yahuwah calls the Chirchum. Then there are the mitzvahs, which a person does it with his limbs, he does it with his body. Then it also regulates the materialism to turn it into spiritualism, which without Torah mitzvahs you cannot get there. So that's called a minna, an order that a person should have his koiches, to be connected with emunah, to be connected to the Ein Sof, to be connected to the infinite. Even though he's a finite, will never make it without a minna. A minna is that covers the Amchal calls it l'shiasku kivisi Hashem. Because Baruch Hu created this world. When He created this world, the Ein Sof becomes Ein Sof. Every infinite, whatever creation does, will also become infinite. But Kadosh Baruch Hu made a finite, which that is only Kadosh Baruch Hu can make it. And how do you do it? Without going into particulars, He made a mukim reik, a mukim empty place, which is called Chalal. And in this Chalal, there's a kav for the Ein Sof. There's a line that comes down from the infinite, and around this line the whole world was built, and which is the finite, which conceals me the connection to the Banshleim, which Maluchim are also concealed, but their concealment only comes from one concealment, which is called in the Rochnius. That means even in spirituality, there are always stages of concealment. So the Maluchim don't have any concealment of Gashmis, of materialism. It's mainly the Chochma Ma'ayin Timutze. The revelation at first was Chochma, even though it's something spiritual. For us, it's something spiritual, something concealed, but against the infinite, it's something very finite. It's something that is concealed. It's not hidden anymore. It's something that's very open. It's not concealed anymore. So this is Maluchim. But a human being, he has two concealments. One, the spirituality is concealed. Is concealed from him. Number two is the materialism, which actually, the materialism is another boundary which intercepts between my materialism and my spiritualism. And so Yetzias Mitzrayim was actually a way that HaKadosh Baruch Hu had to take us out of Mitzrayim. How do you take us out of Mitzrayim? That means a person in this world is actually, he's confined, tied up to this olam haz, as we say, to this finite, and he has to find the infinite here. And there's no way how he can get there. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu found Avram. He was the first one that says, "V'hemem b'Hashem v'yachshavei tzedukah." How did he get there? So the Torah says right away, "Anochi ofa ve'efa." He lived every second that he cannot do anything. He's been turned into ofa, into efa. When he was thrown into the kivshana eish of Kasdim, he was ufa in his trades. Yitzchak, they all went through, so they started asking, so who is here? Yes, manig lebir, but the things that are I can do. From one side I see I cannot do anything. I have sometimes my pains, I have sometimes my suffering, which it freezes me altogether, and that sometimes that I could do something that actually revealed that there is someone somewhere, which we call the Aa'zor, that gives us the amina to connect, which Avram revealed actually on his own the whole Torah. Because why did he look? He wasn't so much looking for the Torah, he was looking for the connection to himself, to the Rבינו. The more he came connected to the Rבינו, he understood what, he realized what connects him, what disconnects him. And his love to the Rבינו was such a big ahava that it was a waste of time to give away my time to things that disconnect me and not to do things that connect me, which that's called v'haftus Hashem alekechu v'chol levavchu v'chol nafshechu v'chol miyadechu, that actually you have to live Kodesh Baruch Hu, even though he'll take away your nefesh, even though he'll take away your money, take away your levavchu. Why? Because my love to the Rבינו, I have to show my expression, is so strong for me, it's so precious to me that I, as a Bekiva, and he didn't even feel, wasn't busy, let's go that way, with his pain of Masreika Shel Basel, Kol Yuma Yisim Mitztayah, Musa Yuva LeYuda V'Akemani. When will I be able to live with such a way that I'm giving away whatever I can, because I want to show my love to HaKadosh Baruch Hu in such a way? Is how did Rabbi Kiva get to there? After the first 40 years that he was on Amuritz, he was always busy trying to understand how did these Talmidei Chacham did that to me. How did these Talmidei Chacham mess up my life? How did anyone that I have trauma from mess up my life? At the age of 40, that's when it struck him a lightning, that he saw the water making a hole in the stone. And actually, who made the hole? This isn't the water that made the hole in the stone, and this isn't the stone that was vulnerable that you should make the hole. Anyone, there's someone here that we have Ashgucha Prutas is doing everything. So then he understood that instead of being smart, instead of that smartness that I'm trying to understand things are keeping me back from improving myself, improving my connection, improving my whole spiritual status. So that I was always in front of him, not to go in too much into asking questions, what, when, where, how, because that messes you up. All a person, decide that you understand that you don't understand, then you're ready to go into emunah. But it's not an illusion. It's something that the Zohar calls it avnese de libe. When a person get lost and the emotions rise up, why do emotions rise up? Either he comes to an unknown place, but any time that he gets lost, it's actually he feels himself like in a claustrophobia, that he doesn't know how do you get out of here. So then the fight, flight, freeze comes up, and the person's on their own. And when he's on their own, what happens is it shuts off the whole system of understanding, the whole system of feeling, the whole system gets messed up. What the Zohar Kodesh says, at the end of the day, the understanding comes from the moyach, from the mind, and the regesh, the feelings, come from the heart. The mind cannot get to emunah. Why? Because it's just the opposite. Because Baruch gave us a mind that we should understand. But the heart can calm down even when it's in a sarat regashot, even though it's very and how? Because there's something called avnes de libe. Avnes means the foundation of the heart could feel the emunah, which is called re'isa de libe. There's a re'isa de libe. That means even though HaKadosh Baruch Hu is leis machshava tfisa by, we have no understanding. If we have no understanding, so actually it's called the unknown, and the unknown should turn on my amygdala and turn on my coping to fight, flight, and freeze. But when a person goes into emunah, which the heart could feel that, but the mind cannot feel it, so the heart comes down, and as I say, just like there's a fire in God forbid. So the first thing is that the fire engines come, they turn off the electricity from the house, and they turn off the gas. There should be no supply to the fire. That means when a person goes through, God forbid, whatever he goes through, he has to understand that actually HaKadosh Baruch Hu is giving him shall have his car. He's giving him a way that he knows right now you are prepared to up level your finite to infinite, but I need you to do a procedure. A procedure is cut off your understanding and understand that you don't understand. And once you understand you don't understand, so the heart itself has this koach of believing that there is leis asar purim and that I'm not here alone. And it's less machshava tfisa that there is an understanding because I can't understand it. So that itself calms down tzaddik, the minusa yichya. That itself gives the tzaddik to live. Which that is actually the avodah which the others came to that, which they gave us in. It's built into every yid. This part of understanding that I don't understand, which no goy has it, which only the yid has it, through chelik lekai mimal, which HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that made a bris, that just like by a bris, we reveal the hidden, and we can live even in the finite, the infinite. So that's every yid has this all our life. What happened in Yetzias Mitzrayim explains the Ari, which we start saying a Ramban, that how did it happen that they were doing Mekayim Torah, L'shin Shmom, Shoinam, and Levisham, they were doing the maximum they can do. And the Ramban says, how do they get to Memta Sha'ar Timah? Because they had no emunah. What does it mean they had no emunah? They did it for style, we call it. My father did it, my ancestors did it. And suddenly, the first generation went through what they went through, the second generation, the third generation. And now we're talking already 210 years later, suddenly they were trying to survive. And trying to survive means I'm doing mitzvahs only to survive, but not to connect. So once I'm only doing to survive because I must do it, otherwise I won't survive, I won't have shiddurim, I won't get breakfast, as the Busha says, if I won't daven, etc. So there was no connection. And the Busha has a whole shmissen that he says that itself disconnects you, because once you're doing such holy things, which gives you a certain level of spirituality, but it brings you into Mizgur Ein Ani V'Choyim Luda, the Muda Echad. So he helped us in Mitzrayim. We should go down to Memta Sharatima, that we should understand there should still be a place for a Shaykh and Itam, B'Toich Timoisam, that a Kodesh Baruch Hu is still connected to you. Then actually starts a conflict between the person. From one side, he's doing everything, all the Torah mitzvahs. From the other side, he's falling into the Sharatima. And as I said, the Baal Shem Tov Kodesh says, because Baruch Hu brought us into 49 levels of Tima. At the 49th, he had to take us out fast, because if he wouldn't take us out fast, we didn't fall in to the 50, and then we'd have a problem to take us out. So it was just to explain what problems the Rebbe have in the 50. And the Ramban, the Chaim HaKadosh says, that was only up to Nesinas HaTorah. But once it was Nesinas HaTorah, he was able to get us out. Also, even today, where we are, wherever he is, there's no such thing. He disconnects. As the Alexander Rebbe says in Yismach Yisrael, at the end of Pesach, he says, even though a person failed and he went after his eyes, went after his heart, he fell through all his nisyonis, but loy susiri. Susiri means you never untied your connection to the Rebbe. Mater means to tie up, and loy susiri, you don't untie it. You're always connected to the Rebbe. That means wherever a Yid is, will always be connected. So what's the problem for the Rebbe to take us out even from Niyan Sharatim? The Ari comes along and explains how did Kodesh Baruch Hu take us out from the time. So he said actually what Pari did, not he didn't let us believe, he just didn't give us totally altogether. We should think, we should do everything mitzvahs anushim and emudah without any das, which he calls just like a small child in the womb of the mother. There is only moving, there is no understanding, there is no connection. It's all by itself. The same thing is that in Mitzrayim there were only the Shishu Midis, there was no Moichen, and there was no connection to the Malchus. When a child gets born, that's Kodesh Baruch Hu took us out of Mitzrayim like a birth, then actually the body straightens out. Before that, the head is between the feet. Once it gets born, the head straightens out, then there comes in place to build Moichen, which is Chacham bin Adas. And then once it comes in, also the Malchus, that is able to start to connect, healthy connections, they call it these days. He starts connecting, which that helps him build his whole menschlichkeit, his whole human being, his whole traits that he has to build. There's two phases in life, says the Baal Shem Tov, the Ari. At the age of 13, I become a Gudel, and there's age of 40 is Barabon Rבינו, which get even smarter. So what's the difference between the smartness of age of 30, which is called godless vision, to the smartness of age of 40, which is godless shiny? So the whole difference is between a teenager and an elderly person is a teenager, when he gets smart, he thinks he's the smartest, and he doesn't understand that something that he does not understand, that actually usually happens, the collision between teenagers and adults, that suddenly they don't understand each other, and they see that anyone that's not going their way is enemies. Adult, if he gives the savlanut, as we should call it, he gives the patience, and he gets to the age of 40 and does work with himself, then suddenly he understands at the age of 40, I thought I understand, but now I understand that I don't understand. Then I can go into Emunah. Klal Yisrael in Mitzrayim came to such a stage that Pari kept him so busy, running around all day from the morning till at night, socializing, productivity, even spirituality, but not in a way that I should understand, that I don't understand. I should connect myself to it, but it was only in a way that I had no time to mindfulness, I had no time for myself, I had no time to start contemplating what's happening here. Then that's what schlepped them all the way down to Memtai Sharatima. That was a way to help them to get out of Mitzrayim, that you see this conflict. So I have to find a way how to connect to the Mina. Says Dari, how did Kush Baruch take us out? You have to make a nest. What nest did he made? He made a nest. Usually it's a procedure for when a child is born till he gets this godless shiny, this understanding of the age of 40, then he understands he doesn't understand. So to go through this procedure, he wouldn't be able to wait for this time, because we had no time, because we were 49. So Kadosh Baruch Hu gave us in, right from that second das, which is called Yetzias Mitzrayim, of a godless shiny, of a person at the age of 40. So we understand that we don't understand, and we just mashcheni achecho v'nerutzi, and we ran out. So why wasn't it enough that she give us godless vision that we understand? So the answer is, if we would say that we understand, okay, you want to take us out? You're trying to explain me that I'm here at Evid? No problem, ready to go. What's the plan? Where are we going to? So Moshe would start saying, well, Moshe Rabbeinu would say, we're going out for 40 years in the desert. How do you say in English when someone tells you something like that? They'll tell you, what? Where are you taking us? What are we going to eat there? What are we going to rest there? There would be no way in the world that that he would give us this godless shiny, this understanding of a person at the age of 40 that he understands, he doesn't understand. Then he's ready to go into emunah, and this emunah does the work of connecting him to leis asar punim and to leis machshuva tfisa. It gives him his connection from the revealed to the concealed. That means it connects us that the Rebbe is here and everywhere, and that calms down my amygdala, that calms down my emotions, and I'm ready to go with tzaddik b'menusa yichya chochmet achayim b'leim. That's when they were ready. Zachat lo chesed nirayach ahavas kli l'sayach lechtach achre b'midbar. Ahavas kli l'sayach. You were ready for that love that you wanted me to be connected to the Ein Sof. Lechtach achre b'midbar. You were ready to run out of the midbar, out to the midbar, even though you didn't understand how, what, when, where. But as long as I'm in the hands of the mother, just like a small child in the hands, so that gave me such a comfort that I was ready to go out. That was actually the nest of Yetzias Mitzrayim. Explains the Busha, this was always what happens today. Today, we have that strength that we always can come to that conflict of doing and not doing, as they call this, doing or to be. Then we have that courage to connect, to give up the doing and going to the be. To give up the doing, which comes from the understanding, to be, which is actually believing. That Yetzias Mitzrayim is something built into the Yid, which only the Yid has this. No doimen sameach chai, even the Goy doesn't have it, and even the Maluchim don't have it, as we said before, because they only have one concealment in the Rochnis. We have two concealments, also in Rochnis and also in Gashmis. So the Yid, wherever he is, will be able to go out of Yetzias Mitzrayim. That's what the Arachim adds on. Even if he comes to Shara Chamishim, after because Baruch Hu gave us the Torah, we have this koach to give a seisa de l'esata. What does a seisa de l'esata mean? A seisa de l'esata means that I have to give. The Busha explained that it was one of the first things that when the Busha spoke to me, that when Busha spoke, I heard someone asking Busha, the Zohar Kodesh says everything the Rebbe is doing for us. That's called Esaisa de La'ela, but awakening from up downwards. But we have to give Esaisa de L'Sata. We have to wake ourselves up. So someone asked Busha, what does Esaisa de L'Sata mean? And Busha answered, nothing. Well, he said, I don't understand. He opened up all this Chassidisches Shurim and all the explanations. There are Esaisa de L'Sata means I have to do. That was the Chiddush from the Bush that he said, Esaisa de L'Sata is when you decide that you cannot help yourself. You're not doing anything. And you come to the belief that Kishboch is doing. And now you want me to help you, then I'll help you. Because you don't help a person that doesn't ask for help. So in order there should be a Esaisa de La'ela, I give you a Esaisa de L'Sata. There was only once where Yetzias Mitzrayim that Kishboch made a nest. Why did Kishboch make you a nest, as the Ramban says? He made you a nest that you should be able to understand that you don't understand. Now, if we would have gone into Shara Chamishim, then every time we would lose, if we go into a conflict, we have to say this nest every time anew. Since he made this nest already by 49, and now when we go into the Torah, we can reach 52. So even when a person is in 50, we don't have to make him a nest, but the person has to know that this itself, that he's ready to surrender, is implanted in him by Yetzias Mitzrayim, which he has that strength, even though he's trying to understand. He can always come to that place that he does not understand, and he's ready, Pesi, Yamin, L'chol. He's ready to be a Pesi, that he doesn't understand, as we said, stupid, in order to connect to Kadosh Baruch Hu. That was actually the whole Yetzias Mitzrayim is around that. The Svasemis explains that the whole Yetzias Mitzrayim was in order to get to Noich Hashem Elokecha. And Noich Hashem Elokecha can only be once you decide that you cannot. So that's only once you were in Mitzrayim and you got out of Mitzrayim, then you understand why you're not in Mitzrayim. It's Noich Hashem Elokecha. But if you were never in Mitzrayim, you would never know Noich Hashem Elokecha, because you had nothing to, such a conflict that should get you into leaving the mode of understanding and going into believing. And if you go into Niyashar, then you also wouldn't get there. So because Baruch Hu put you in a place that today, anywhere that you go in, it's not because he's trying to punish you, it's not because he's trying to hide from you, it's just the opposite. You forgot the purpose of the creation is Noich Hashem Elokecha. I want you, instead of being busy protecting yourself, try to connect yourself. That is the biggest protection that can be. Hashem le'shuma ir, shav shukat shema. So that is actually gives me the connection even more, the connection that I can give by myself, which is no way that I can get there for such a protection with my whole, as we saw a few weeks ago here in Eretz. Suddenly, in October 7th, you had all the smart people and all the drones and all the walls and everything, and it just didn't work. And the second it came, because Baruch Hu put us into such a place that we understand that we don't understand, then even the Iran sent their 330 ballistas and missiles, whatever, all these things. We cannot understand how this was stopped. This is all to show us that actually it's not the understanding, it's the understanding that I don't understand, which actually connects me to the Bnei Shlomo. So, because they came out of Mitzrayim, we're now in Sfir Soima. So Kodesh Baruch Hu gave us a Sarisa de Elo before Sarisa de L'Sata. He made a miracle that we should understand, we don't understand. And after the first day of Yom Tov, it goes away. Now the Bnei Shlomo says, give me the Sarisa de L'Sata. what is the issue that a Sato have to give? Learn a lesson that as much as you understand, there's always something beyond your understanding. There is something on a higher level which you don't understand, but I am there. Which you get that every year when you go out of Mitzrayim. And that is actually the avodah of the 49 days, whatever it says Sphere, every night. You say Yisikon Masha Pugamli B'Sphere. You don't find it so often that you're busy with your Pugumim and Timay and Klippay Saini, which is actually, that is the preparation to the Nesina Satoira, which is actually to understand that I don't understand. But as long as the person tries to understand and he doesn't understand that and he's not ready to understand that he doesn't understand, then there's no way that he'll go to a minna. So, which explains the Yitzhak She'udam is Gaber Olav, is that Kodesh Baruch Hu Aa'zor. Kodesh Baruch Hu is helping you to understand that you don't understand, in order that you should get to the minna, which you'll be able to get it no other way. That's what this workshop that we're doing in these 7 weeks to like Voima, in order to get out of my cubicle of understanding and going into to understand that I don't understand, then I can go into a minna. There's 2 phases. In Mitzrayim B'chlal we didn't have das, so we didn't even know what a minna means. We were all stoned up. But then, when HaKadosh Baruch Hu has to give us das, it's not enough that he gives us das of a 13 level. He has to give us a das that we are tachlis yadil das she'ein yadeh. Then we're able to go out of Mitzrayim till we came to the 49th day. Klal Yisrael told Moshe Rabbeinu, check if they're ready to accept the Torah. Then they said, Na'asa ונשמע. Then HaKadosh Baruch Hu, no, we reached the goal. As we said in the beginning of this year, how can a person do something without even knowing what to do? Well, the answer is, as we started off, there was parchment, there was gvilin, they had the Torah from the Ovis, and they were learning it every Friday night with Moshe Rabbeinu, and they were kind the Torah and the best way that it can be, even stronger, l'shinish, mom, levisham, l'shoinam, every particular part, everything that is, even its chitzonius, but it was missing the pnimius. It was missing the spiritual part of it, as that's what Ramban says. It was missing the emunah. They were doing everything, but Moshe Rabbeinu said, "V'hen lo ya'aminu li." Even though they're doing everything, but in order to get out, that only when you're doing things without connecting, you're only doing because you must do it, and you don't have that there is Rachmuna Libaboya. Baruch Hu wants Eza Avodah Shebelev Zitfilah. Tfilah means to connect myself. As long as I don't do that connection, I cannot. As long as I don't do that connection, there is no way that I can give away my das. That actually is the Yetzias Mitzrayim. סליחה, מסתום דה פקטה, ולא יכולתי לפתוח את הדלת.
אני יודע. הייתי בזום.
So the whole, הבנת את המהלך, כן? So the whole accomplishment was how HaKadosh Baruch Hu know that I came to the accomplishment of the task that I want. And they said Na'asa ונשמע explains the words, the 2 types of nishma. There's nishma that I hear what you're telling me and I'm doing it. Or there's nishma called this is Vaishama Shur Esom. I want to be one with you. That means to connect the concealed, the revealed to the concealed, to accept the finite to the infinite, the Ein Sof. So once Claudius said Na'asa v'nishma, that means the Hirutz explains that sure that without knowing what to do, I can't do anything. But this was the problem up to Mitzrayim. Mitzrayim, we started understanding that it's not enough that I know what to do. At the end of the day, I have to come to do and know what to do, but I just understand there's something beyond my knowledge, which is called which is called understanding, which is called emunah, believing. That's when you come to the tachlis of the B'riyas Olam. Like Kodesh Baruch Hu wants you should be in a world, and in this world we should be able to connect. So that was Nesinas Atayah.
I didn't understand the connection to Nasa Nishma and the understanding of the infinite and the
Again,
infinite.
as long as you are trying to understand, there's Nishma you understand.
The other sense
The
of
first
sense of
Nishma
Nishma.
is mean you tell me what to do, I understand, and you start doing it. Problem is when you get stuck. So I get stuck, I try to do the best that I can do. It should have a nice outside, but inside there's no connection to your infinite. What Mitzrayim gave us, once it was not only there was a problem, it was also a problem that you went into too much and overdoing things, and then you were Prinashal Amizgua Ein Ani V'Chayin Luda Mudaecha. Mashanta says that Kodesh Baruch Hu would rather go into Shaykh Anita Masach Temoisan and be with you together, even though you're in Mitzrayim Enter Sharadim, and so I won't leave you. So then you have that I have to do, but have to know that you're doing it. So then it's Kodesh Baruch Hu could reveal himself, but dafka through your understanding that you understand you don't understand. That's so what happened by Chetu Eigel. We'll just finish off with this. That the Purist explains by Chetu Eigel, the nature of a person is you forget very fast. That's yesterday you were in Mitzrayim. You started building up again. Yomi al Yam B'Yam said there were Pesel Michu, and then started all the complaints. We want to go back to Mitzrayim. What are we going to eat and what are we going to drink? And still the Purist.
You forget the good things that happened to you?
No, you forget how it happened. It happened through that. How did you get to the good things? You got to the good things that because Baruch Hu decided to help you to understand you don't understand. But once you start having complaints, that is the sign that you lost the connection. You lost the connection. You lost the goal. What I sent you here for. So because Baruch Hu said here, I took you out of Mitzrayim. I brought you to Nesinas Atayah, and at the end of the day, you make a A'azor. So, Kodesh Baruch Hu told them, Kilkaltem b'na'asa is hari b'nishma. Watch out for the nishma. Which nishma is Kodesh Baruch Hu talking about? Not the first one. The first one we know exactly where we want to send our children, and what we want to do with them. And we're trying to, but I need something, a nishma, to be connected to the mitzvahs, and to be connected to the mitzvah. Because Baruch Hu says, "His hari b'nishma." Now we have no way to escape from the being one with the Kodesh Baruch Hu. Because since I took you out of Mitzrayim, I implanted in every yid the amina that wherever he comes to the disconnection, suddenly he's ready to connect, as the Balatanya says, to be connected to the Baruch and won't disconnect. So that is the whole avodah. I'll just finish off with a Muslim that the Baal Shem Tov HaKudosh said there was a king was over a lot of countries. And one day he decided he has to check what is the loyalty of the countries. So he took one of his captains there and gave him a whole division in the army and told him, I want you to go check out each country as if you're a traitor, boged, against me, and I want to see if they're loyal to me or not. Says the Baal Shem Tov, they came to the first country, and the Chaver heard, what a traitor, they put up such a war, and just got him out of there. We don't want to hear for nothing, but loyal to the king. Went to the second country. The second country started thinking, actually, not bad what he's saying. As we see it every time in elections. The new guy comes and says, I promise I'll give you and I'll make for you now. So why not? Let's try him out. The old one we know already.
He's the king of elections.
So what happens is that he tried to be a trader, and they decided, let's give in, let's see what he can do for us. Says the Baal Shem Tov, the same thing is the two types of people. The people that Kodesh Baruch Hu gave you the Yetzirah, that it should bring you to which is trying to disconnect you from the Rebbeinu, but not that he wants you to disconnect you. He wants to see your loyalty to him. So the first is the person what it does. He does one of two things. Either he decides, well, let's do the it's what the Yetzirah says, and what do we need this conflict for? There's the other side that says, no, let's become spiritual and not do anything in this world. Both of them, the Kodesh Baruch Hu doesn't want. Kodesh Baruch Hu doesn't want to become spiritual all the way out. He wants you to balance it. How do you balance it? Says the Baal Shem Tov, there was a third country. The third country said, 1 second, something's wrong here. There must be something's going on here. This guy, if the king wouldn't want this to happen, where is he? Where is he sleeping? It's the 7th of October, so everyone is sleeping. There must be the king knows exactly how did they get in there, who let him into here. Anyway, the Chapter Mahalach Kodesh Baruch Hu is sending us his friends. They should come in a disguise of a trader, but not that we should surrender to him, and not that we should throw him away. We should know that this is actually the connection that we have with the Rebbeinu. That is actually our preparation to the Shvias, to the Kabbalah Satorah. It's na'aseh we should do, but we have to come to nishma. If we think that we're not being connected to that, and what we're doing, it's something that's getting bigger than we're disconnecting. How do we do things that which is called the Hagi Kuvet Zeh Lezeh? They were such a way that the bigger they got, they disconnected one to another. Because Baruch says it's not the right direction that I gave the Torah. So the Kiva Chaptet, and the Kiva said, I'm starting again. But the Pele was as a Kiva ready to go on and not be busy a bunch. And I built you up the Torah. What happened now, 24? But he understood that he's not supposed to be busy with understanding, because that is one of the poisonous part of a person who tries to understand. Actually, is not ready not to understand. And then he was able to build up from 5 Talmidim, which till today we're able to stand the Gudas. Any questions about this?
Yes.
Yes. You're with me?
Hi, Rebbe.
Yeah, Shalom Aleichem. I get in Zimmer.
Good. Okay, so let's say a person's in pain and now they connect through recognizing that they can't.
So we said that's a procedure. A procedure which we should call it shtika. It's not automatic here that I'm going over to. This is something that I have to build my nefesh, which usually takes 40 years. But in Tzias Mitzrayim, Kodesh Baruch Hu made it in 1 second. Even not only in 1 second. I think we spoke about it before Pesach, right? That they told them, either you're going out with me or you're staying here. And they lehispik betzekem lahachmetz, because a second later it just won't work anymore. But now we're not in that stage. Now we're in the stage of patience, of savlanut, we should call it in Yiddish geduld. That means, but now we know the procedure. The procedure is, number 1, understand that you don't understand. Number 2, there's something that's called emunah. Once you come to emunah, you're ready to space out. No, I want you in this world. You want in this world? Okay, so let's go and strong into this world until the person finds the leveling of being and not being, and not being and being. This is a whole life work, which every time we even though we got to understand that I don't understand, but then what? Even this I don't understand, or what? Even this I don't understand, because the Kodesh Baruch Hu is Ein Sof, but we're doing progress all along.
So it does, like, I guess my question was, like, so why doesn't, let's say, the problem go away?
Okay, so I will explain. When I made so kirusi ko, muni b'merchav ko. Every time a person comes into a problem, we call it, which is actually called a claustrophobia, and I don't find myself, so my emotions blow away my head. But kirusi ko, when I'm ready to understand that I don't understand, which Balatanya calls it Almedis Kasya, that I'm ready to understand that Beis Asar Punima, less Machshuv Tvisudei Klau, then it becomes merchav. What does merchav mean? When a person loses his mind, why does he lose his mind? Explained Rebbe, because he wants to understand: will I be able to cover my bank account tomorrow or not? Will my problem go away or not? And if that's not enough, you also have his past that he's busy with all kinds of failures that he fell through. And so Bakiva was busy with the past, and that's never let him, and was always busy with the Talmidei Chumah. Anyone that gave him trauma and messed him up, and never was able to proceed. But once Bakiva chapped that actually we cannot live in the past and we cannot live in the future. Only way that we can connect ourselves to ourselves is in the present. That's the whole, because HaKadosh Baruch Hu, He is past, present, and future. A human being, one of the creation was that we should be we cannot be past, present, and future, but we can be even present, and that which is called hoiva. But even that hoiva, until I say it, it's also been past. Actually, all I have to do is give my direction, what I want in life. And how do I get to that direction to live with the present is dafka through my failures in the past. And I don't see way how I'm going to get out of it in the future. So who's giving me now that I'm sitting here and saying a shir, and I know yesterday was like that and tomorrow is like that. So then once I connect in the hoiva with my present, who's in that present? That's the bunch for them. Then it becomes merchav. Merchav means I'm not in a claustrophobia anymore. I came into a wider place, because in that place of hoiva there is the year and there is the hoy, which HaKadosh Baruch Hu, He is in this second. He's past, present, and future. But us past, present, future doesn't mean in this second. But us past, present, it means that it's only going to be tomorrow, not yesterday. But if we're talking about the potential, we're talking about the bekoyach, as we call it, from where we are, so it gives us space. So merchav, people have the mistake and they think that whatever I need should snap right away. But the Buddha explained, once you do that project, I understand that the meitzah comes not to punish me or not to take, it's trying to give me something broader, connection, then there is no reason why this meitzah should be. Buddha called it, you turn it over from a metzias to a sibit, a cause, then things change. What way will change? Then I'm trying to understand again. But it becomes much broader, much merchav, so I go out of my claustrophobia and I have the calmness, so I'm sure that things will turn out. But it's not, merchav doesn't mean things will turn out the way I expected. Because then once he's trying to give what I expect, he messes it up again.
So in some sense, you need to let go of the first nishma.
So the whole
or throw away the entire thing.
Not long, but you have to know what to do. One side, I have to know to do the things according to Shulchan Aruch, we call that. But at the end of the day, Rabbi Melech and Rabbi were in jail, and he couldn't say Birchas HaTorah in the morning. So Rabbi Zisha told him, the same Rebbe tells us to say Birchas HaTorah. Now we cannot say Birchas HaTorah for a reason there was something not proper there. So it's the same Rebbe now that you're connecting, not through understanding, through not understanding.
So really you're living most of your day and not understanding.
What's that?
Like you're trying. Part of you is trying to live in a world of, you're always like really not understanding Hashem completely. So you're always living part of you in that world.
So the Rosh Hashanah, the Maggid especially calls it Shashuim Shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu. It's just like a father comes home from work and the small child sees daddy's home. It gives him such a tummy, such a pleasure that he's looking for him. So what does the father do? He hides in the next room, and the child is looking in the next room. He goes to the third room. So that is actually, for that, the whole creation of the world was, you should show your love to me, even though you haven't seen me a long time.
Yeah.
And you trust me, there's a small child plays, is all the time looking if the father and mother is still here. So there's an attachment, as they call it. And when do they get lost? When they lose their attachment. We lose our attachment when we try to understand. We lose our attachment when something comes suddenly. We go into a confinement, as we call it, and I don't know what's going to happen here. But we have something special that we can understand, we don't understand, which connects us to a much broader place, which is called Emunah, which lays asar punim and HaKadosh Baruch Hu is there, and everywhere, and also lays machshuva tfisa. I can decide that I don't understand, and that actually gives me the connection, which I wouldn't have gotten that connection without coming to this place of not understanding.
So it's like a danger if you think things are going well.
Well, we wouldn't do
it's a danger of connecting. So because you think everything's under control here.
So that's what happens. That's what the Rusha said. That the pachad, right now, as long as a person trying to understand, his pachad, his phobia is that he shouldn't come to a place that he won't understand. So people don't get married because they don't know that they're going to get along with them. People don't bring children because they don't know how they're going to marry him off. They don't take any things beyond which the Torah tells them to do. How you expect me to do it? That means the more I'm trying to understand, my phobia is that I won't understand. But once I understand, when I come to not understanding, I'm coming to a higher place, to a more broader place. But then this comes in the sakuna. The danger is we shouldn't go in, as we said in the beginning, we shouldn't go in too much into spirituality and too much into workaholic. We have to always find a way, and the measurement is, as long as I have the Yishuv Adas, these ways it's called mindfulness, a person has to have his time of Yishuv Adas, that he's with him. If if he blows his top, you should know he went into the wrong place. And he has to just reset himself, and reset means just, as I call, eat something, go to sleep, go to the mikveh, try to release yourself, and then that's called reset. Then things come back because it's in there. It's not I have to bring it from somewhere. It just I just overused it, we call it. So then we just shut off the motor, and it starts working again.
That's what the procedure.
That's what Moshe wants. What?
It's a procedure because if it will be easy.
And the procedure is
no,
patience.
why it's a procedure? Yeah.
Patience, savlanut. The Busha said not savlanut. The Busha said savlanut. Shkar tzadikim. Koltiv. Koltiv tzadikim. Koltiv. Thank you very much. חולת זה המצליח, באמת אהוב.
ביציאת מצרים, בגלל שזה היה חיבור מהיר, אז אחרי זה איבדו את זה מהר גם? בגלל שזה לא היה חיבור שם.
לא, כי הnature שלנו is to try to understand all the time. So we're not ready to
and the longer you try to understand, the phobia gets bigger.
But the more you try not to understand, so it took 40 years to Bekiva to understand.
That he doesn't
understand. Then once you understood, his pachad was not that he's going to understand. His pachad was not. His phobia was not that he's going to understand. His phobia was that he might try to understand too much. So every time this came around, he reminded himself he was busy 40 years understanding.
Yeah, but still. Be careful not to go to not understanding at all.
That's called balance.
Balance.
Called Tivlubi, called Beseda.
Shkef Rebbe. Yeah, Baruch Hashem.
Called Tivtzadikim. Called Tivtzadikim.